right. Thank you, everyone. This is episode number 2 of Marvelous Megalith Mondays, yet so late at starting, it turned into Tuesday. And if you're joining in from Australia, New Zealand, most likely it's almost Wednesday by if you're watching live, and probably will be by the time you do see this episode, but that's okay because I've got a heck of a job of a compilation of stuff that we're going to cover today, including some new finds. This right here, shout out to Sibs on Instagram, has a video I'll be playing, as well as this Charles from Mosa, Guangzhou, China. And I believe this is picture of so about 38 of these pyramids around 35 kilometer northwest of Xi'an on the Guangzhou Plains in Shaanxi province. And this, so right here, this is obviously in like late summer or fall, the dry season here, and you can actually see it's megalithic layers, these terraces, and these are pyramids. That's one, there's another, and there's 38, at least 38 in this one area alone here in what is this, Guangzhou, China, in the Xi'an province, Guangzhou Plains in Shanxi province. There we go. My apologies, I probably butchered the pronunciation, but here we go. So there's that one, and then this is the exact same one, right? So this building right here, you can see right there, the two, the brown with the blue, right? Boom, right there, same building, same pyramid, and this is during the rainy season, the wet season, right? And lush, and this, right, that's what we're more used to seeing when we do see pictures, the rare pictures that actually come out of China of their vast amount of pyramids in China, right? It's like this is usually all we can find through satellite imagery, that it's like they've covered them with hills and trees and dirt and vegetation, so that that is normally what you see. But these are actually, we see this is actually more along the lines of probably the Great Pyramids of Giza, of giant ton megalithic blocks stocked on top of each other, and just a whole ecosystem, a whole range of them, right? Like, look at this. These are all mountain pyramids in this area, and that you can see they are constructed, that this is absolutely phenomenal and possibly dwarfs the Giza Plateau, and of potentially the same style construction and same would be builder group people, or whatever life built them, but that they were built by a previous advanced super capable civilization that has since long perished, and that was at least as capable or advanced as we are, if not more. And that so, and right, we can see again same building, so this is just above, and then more of a view, same one again, and right, look at that. And that's most like, and here's a different one in that same range area, and you can see even the vegetation is still growing to these different steps, the terraces of the structures that these mountain pyramids of China are. And that this is just like the Bosnian pyramids, they're of Sam Ivanovic, that right, this guy right here, the Pyramid of the Sun, it is a mountain pyramid, and that within it, Sam, here they've done the LiDAR and the deep penetrating radar or imaging, and they've also excavated the infill of the different tunnels, and then have come across these literally pure, some of these tunnels of water. That water was preserved, and they were able to age date it, that it was like I believe at least 11,500, if not, I believe somewhere actually like 15 or 16,000, that they got vegetation carbon dated that they had found in these waters. So like the most pristine, pure, primal source water you can have, untouched. And that, so that the blue on this top image of the pyramid of the sun, all the blue channels, the dark blue, I believe, are the pre-sealed waters, and then the different chambers of them, and then this lighter blue one that goes, it's actually sneaks or maneuvers from outside one end of the pyramid, entering, and then through, and then out the other, and that there's actually still an active spring underground water running into and out of through the Bosnia pyramid of the sun to this day. And just fascinating stuff. Is that a key part of it? I suspect so, and it's probably in all of them. And that, well, if that's not enough, well, here we go. This there's, I believe, at least 4 or 5 a set of these mountain pyramids, and are in some island chain in the Atlantic, but I don't have the name for it. My apologies. There's also these ones that I believe are either in Spanish territory or Argentina, one or the other. I've got the names saved in places where they're from, but on the other computer, just not handy. I will have to fill that in afterwards. And then this set as well, another location. So each one of these are from different locations around the world, and just like China, and China has a bunch of them. And if that's not enough, let's watch a drone video of it, if it will load it. There we go. Uh-oh, I might have messed it up. It started to play. Oh dear. Okay, my apologies. Sorry about that. We are buffering. I accidentally hit reload. There we go. Okay. So here we go. Shout out Sibs on Instagram. Sibs, an acronym for seeing is believing. And Xi'an, China. Look at these ancient stone mountain pyramids. Obviously, so ancient. They are from prehistory. They are from pre-cataclysm. Oh, synchronicity. Shout out Sister 3:33 a.m. Just after we started at 2:22 a.m. and now it is 2:34 where I am. Another synchronicity, 2:34 a.m. And, well, love you all, each and one of you joining in. And 22, it says. Oliver Klein, bless you, sir. Hope you are having a wonderful day. I believe joining in from Germany. Look within. Right? That just such daily wisdom instilled in your name. Look within. And that's a reflection everyone needs to make sure we do each day to keep ourselves in check and keep the inner purpose and peace alive. Gotta look within. But clear out the blockage, right? All right, what we're looking at though, look at this. And we looked into this. Shout out Shem Jacobs and shout out Alchman. It was Alchman that first sent me this SIBS video here, and look at that. That's on top of one of them. Let's see. I gotta be able to pause that. And for the, I guess, right, this must have trended. It had to have started to trend on local Chinese social media that we were able to finally get these images and some of this quick video out into the West, and witnessing it for the first time with our eyes, and that no, this in fact is real. This is not computer generated or AI. This exists. And as does this one right here, Oakland, California. Yes, this is the top of a pyramid overlooking the Bay Area. This also trending on Instagram. It just popped up in my reels. That's what got it started. So I sent it to Elkman. I sent it to Tartarian Truth, and then Elkman came back with this one right here, which then I sent to Shem, and he's like, my God, we've looked at it several times. We've looked at several videos that were available, and the satellite imagery, the Google imagery of this area. And oh my goodness, RIP to, oh, his name is going to come to me, but the one that did so many of the videos covering the Chinese pyramids, and his channel name is, oh, it's a hard one to remember. It's a bunch of letters and numbers. It will come back to me. Anywho, me and Shem Jacobs, Tartarian Truth, have played many of his videos looking at the Chinese pyramids in the past, and Shem was like, there's no way that we missed all of this. We've only seen those flat topped mound ones. What the heck are these giant rock megalithic ones? And he was like, yeah, there's just no way. And then sure enough, he sent me back this within a couple hours of, oh, actually I have it the other way around. I think maybe Shem's or Alkman sent me this, which I believe then Shem was like, could that be real? And then found the SIBS drone footage one. Either way, it's confirmed that this stuff is real, and this is profound. This is absolutely demigod or god-like creation, technology, building and structuring and ruins of possibly several cycles of cataclysm since the original pyramid terraforming civilization was here and built all of these, what we have right there everywhere. What was the purpose of these pyramids? Infrastructure, scale, the size of it, the effort, the amount of resources, and the grids. It was technology. It served function. It probably served a much higher function than we even imagine today. In some of the wildest speculations, who knows? But the point is, are some of them still functioning? What's happening below? Why are we not allowed around them? Why do they cover them up? Why do they not want anyone to be asking questions or seeing this or studying it or trying to get to the bottom, literally into it or under, there's no one allowed to dig things up, literally. No archaeologists, no official studies, right? Like, if anything, I can almost bet that the official Chinese government narrative probably states that these are artificial natural, when in fact they most likely encounter underground entrances and cave systems and everything, all of the infrastructure that is built into these things when they are digging up and building and working on anything modern. Guaranteed. And who knows, probably like Darren Kuyu and the whole areas of the underground cities within Turkey, Cappadocia, and all of that, right? Like, that's just like Egypt. It's documented by so many different ancient sources of and tales, as well as modern day like stories and tales and conspiracies, but also now more emerging evidence through LiDAR and ground penetrating imaging sources that there's mass underground complexes and city and hugeness that is underground all of Egypt and the plateau there, and that it's been covered up. Anywho, that's also what we got here, but it's all coming out thanks to the internet, thanks to sharing, thanks to everybody waking up, whether you're in Guangzhou, China, or whether you're in New Zealand, or you're in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, like myself, or wherever you are whenever you're watching this, such as, Oliver in Germany. The Cult Mosaic, where are you from? And Angel Wings, is it Iowa, sister? Forgive me if I got that wrong. Right, shout out to all of you with us right now. And let's continue on, because there is so much more for us to discuss today with all of this and what we were discussing in the last couple streams that I've been cut short. We will. Oh, Kim B, don't miss it. Wisconsin and Milwaukee. My apologies, sister. My Wisconsin sister, Angel Wings, and but called Milwaukee, right? And if you did miss it, you're just joining in right now. We will quickly show. Look at these. Guangzhou, China. There's 38 of them in a 26-kilometer area. And that here it is, the same buildings. You can see different angles, different times of season. They are megalithic built, stacked, giant blocks, probably just like the Giza main pyramids. Here we have it in the rainy season, dry season, and here we have it flying around. Here's an eroded one. Look at that. Those are megalithic, massive stones on top. Right, that's the part I was trying to pause. Let's get back to that. Trying to pause. So here's another one, maybe a round one covered. You can see two really good ones here, and they all seem to pretty much have their tips straight to the top peak. Probably all missing their cornerstone or top stones, but capstone, that's what I'm going for. Right here we can see eroded, barely eroded, but also still very, very block-like. And there we go. Caught it, finally. This one is a bit more of a flat top, of like a tabletop one, and we are seeing massive, what look like cut megalithic stones topping it. And look at, so this right here are these, some are called Karens or Anukshuks, different names in different cultures and languages, but this is a person compared to this giant thing of balancing rocks, twice the size of a human, and just wild. Needs to get someone from there and find out more about these, and if there is actually any data or excavation or acknowledgement or study of the specifics and like the alignments, the excavations, caves. Oh, like look at this, right, Garen? So all throughout China, there's massive megalithic anomalies, carving anomalies, and here we are in Oakland, California, overlooking the bay, and there's a rock pyramid at the top of. And all right, that was enough of that. What else I have to go along with it? That's what where we were going. The part 2 first. This in comparison, right? This up until now, up until what we just looked at, this right here is all we've really been given and seen through the actual what is an iron wall of the West, a digital iron wall of censorship. This is all that's really been leaked out or shown is images of like freshly planted trees on what looks like freshly covered mounds of pyramids, as all that there was in China, and that shown that one of them was excavated and they had the terracotta armies and whatnot from it. Another one was excavated with like a perfectly preserved like queen or princess or something that was in the middle of like a reservoir, like chamber of mercury. I remember this. I saw it. Can't really find the footage of that story anymore, but if you do have a link out there for it, please post in the live chat. Would love to bring it up, or afterwards post in the comments. But anywho, it's been documented and then suppressed, but that was because it was what they did reveal of the magnitude of what was actually found from the two that they did publicly show some of the excavation, and what was actually in them was just way too advanced, too much, too spectacular, that they had to, hide it back out, even though they were admitting and presenting it, of course, with a spin. And then since then, they've just covered up each of them instead of further opening them up and excavating, researching, and figuring it out, well, at least officially. And here, this one, Teotihuacan, Mexico City, the city of the gods was what the ancient indigenous called it here. And this is a modern day picture showing what is usually referred to as a dust devil, but a spinning wind, little mini tornado coming right off the top, going up this energy vortex, energy system forming right from the center of the peak. Quite fascinating, and it goes in line with illustrating that is a picture from the 1900s of Teotihuacan, the main pyramid of the sun. This is what it was found as when the first colonizers started and cameras went, and then after they excavated, boom, that's what you have today. And that it was also documented when they first dug it out and excavated all of these pyramids, they were covered in a sheet of mica. all of them, and that this travesty, this like criminal act against humanity and corruption, and at the time the state or the whoever was in charge, maybe local, maybe on a federal, who knows, they sold it all off and ripped it off. So instead of this semiconducting dielectric that wow, I just forgot the name, whatever freaking mineral crystal element I just said covered it. Wow, I was a total brain fart in action. My apologies. But yes, that was an actual electrical function of it, and it was a white crystal layering sheet that they all would have gleamed and glared and shone and actually also energized and charged and been covered in this electrical insulator slash turning it into a battery cell generator, focusing the energies up to the peaks. And you can only imagine that if today we're still seeing these literal vortexes of energy of the surrounding environment illuminating and forming off of that area, what it would have been like when it was charged with that dielectric insulator. And imagine a thunderstorm, lightning, the electrically charged air, when you can literally feel the charge in the air, and that interacting with something like this. Oh man, I bet, who knows, maybe there was a permanent electrical or lightning bolt, right? That could have formed. Was there a permanent just boom going up to the sky, the clouds, discharge? Who knows? Possibly. Could have been. I don't see why not. All right, but let us continue on with it. Here we go. This one is what they've, I believe, LiDAR and underground imaging satellite through the ground imaging captured or has revealed the structure, the underlying stone base structure that makes up the main Bosnian pyramid of the sun. So this is a digital composed, I guess, cross section almost, or excavated depiction of the pyramid of the sun in Bosnia. Also a step pyramid looking a lot like the Mayan and Chichen Itza style, with the massive acoustic qualities and resonant properties on what we experience at Chichen Itza also here. Very, very advanced technological and engineering and physics, and it's insane how advanced features and building and purpose and resources went into each and every one of these mega structures throughout the world. This is a stepped pyramid in Indonesia as well. Another still terraces. They're all built with these terraces. And of course, there's the Grand Canyon pyramids as well. Shout out London Man, King James in the house, Beach Countryside Mongoose, Zypher Avoxel. Welcome. Glad to have you. Thanks for being here. Tiger Hill, I will have to check that out. Yeah, the last reset, the Younger Dryas catastrophe event It's the so-called precession of the equinoxes. It is the time Plato gave of the wiping out of Atlantis. It's also when we're told was the wiping out of all megafauna, and essentially could have been what was told as Noah's flood, but maybe that was another catastrophe that happened more recently. Who knows? There's been many, and 26,000, 36,000, 48,000 years ago. There was 72,000. There was also mass die-offs and cataclysms all documented. These ones, though, this would, I believe, was like the first era of the sun, or the first peoples, maybe the second, but like on this size of scale all over, like maybe these things were still functional in the time of Lemuria and Atlantis. And maybe some were built then too, but the mountain ones, these sort of ones, I suspect much, much older. The Nephilim or the Elohim, or gods and demigods, the little g gods, the off-worlds probably, and are there giants under there? Most likely, yes, of ancient lore. Do they still live there? Possibly. This is Devon Island. There's also, this is this channel, this straight up canal. You can see perfectly cut out. It's like 90 degrees. Water roads like this naturally. Sorry, this is constructed. This is a constructed artificial canal in Devon Island, the northernmost massive land island in the world in Canada, as well as it's supposedly uninhabited today, except for NASA experimenting, apparently testing their machines up there because of the harsh conditions. Or is it they're in these space suits and airproof chemical biological barrier because they've excavated the pyramids up there and found, off-world things, leftovers potentially of who knows, right? Don't know. Is that what they're actually using those rovers for, to go in? Like, I don't know. Anyways, getting off topic there. I wish, or do I have? No, my apology, going way too fast. I was trying to rush through, trying to find pictures of the Devon Island pyramids, but they're not in the same row. So we'll have to go back to that another time, or search my Devon Island video and you will see it all. And there's many pyramids. Sorry, this Devon Island, this canal here on the corner connecting out in the bay into the ocean, there is what is called Pyramid Cove or Pyramid Bay. Shout out again to Elkman, the one that showed us a map showing it, and then me finding all the pictures of the pyramids that are there and that canal. All right, so here we again. This is, I believe, from a balloon or a drone of Teotihuacan, close to Mexico City, known as the City of the Gods, Pyramid of the Sun and Moon and Earth, and all of the other pyramids that perfectly line up in equal distance from the center pyramid that is the sun, as all of the other heavenly bodies are in proportion to where we are and the sun is from each other. Not many know that, and it is a key part of that. Here again, Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, still covered with vegetation, not an angle showing the other side that's been excavated a bit, but here relevant part, wrong picture, but Samir also capturing images of beams coming out of it. That's well off topic, as is this guy, I believe, is known as a mound in America, but I am not 100% sure on that. I'm going to have to get back to where the source of this guy is. This is quite the fascinating step pyramid, quote unquote, needs to be excavated, not just a mound. This right here is in Nevada Pyramid Lake, and it is also a very eroded stepped pyramid in the US. This in Antarctica. I believe this is a satellite image in the top right corner of it, and then this is a drone or plane image of it. Again, here we have Nevada Pyramid Lake, the pyramids in the lake vastly eroded, right? Like, so the water level going up and down, like this thing has been massively damaged after thousands of years. And these are like figures, and there's one that looks like a sphinx, one that looks like a queen. These are kind of bad angles of it, but you can basically see the rough outlines of actual statue carvings in front of the pathway to this main pyramid. Now that the water level is so low, this is also another little structure there. And just because the lake level is so low, we're actually starting to see more of the features of it. Isis Temple in the Grand Canyon complex right there, what they covered up. The only time in history an airplane crash, tragedy, accident hits a mountain and the giant cavern entrance into the temple magically gets covered up with a brand new wall. Very strange. Obviously a cover-up done by the US government. Here's the Shiva temple right behind it, and the Cheops pyramid right next to it as well. Every single one of these ancient, massive, stepped temple pyramids also having a divine entity, god, demigod, named after them. Here we have divers documenting exploring part of the Yanaguni structure pyramid off the coast of Yanaguni, Japan. This is in Indonesia. It's the main step pyramid, built several layers using the basalt columns. Graham Hancock's done amongst work. A lot of work on this site, absolutely amazing. Guanpangdong, maybe? I think that's what it is. But it's been dated layers. It's several layers of pyramids built on top of one another, stages in this, with some excavations dating to 36,000 years material of the inner ones, as well as what they say they've, with imaging and radar, have detected inner chambers that still seem to be functioning with active energy and movement within them. It's quite fascinating. Here we got 2 kilometers deep, I believe 1.6 or something miles down off the coast of Cuba. Giant pyramid city on the bottom of the floor of China, or of Cuba, off Guantanamo Bay, I believe, actually. Ziyang Pyramid 6. And actually, back to this, and I do believe, I'm like pretty sure that it is, this right here is off of the coast of Guantanamo Bay, specifically in Cuba. And is that why America refuses to leave and still occupies that bay of Guantanamo, if that's actually there? or close by. This, I believe, is in Europe, and it's, I believe, along the borders of Switzerland, maybe Germany, maybe France, and or another one of the countries around there in the Alps. I forget specifically. There's a couple of them. Here we go. This is one of the images of one of the pyramids in Devon Island at the entrance to that channel canal that we were looking at. Devon Island. There we go. Another picture of a pyramid of Devon Island. Northern Canada in the Arctic is Devon Island. So that's why I'm theorizing what we see in all of the ancient Mercator maps with the 4 different massive islands that surround the Mount Meru or the hole or whatever the heck that goes into the center with the 4 different rivers that some say that some of the islands had giants, some had pygmies labeled on it. Is this Devon Island actually one of those islands? And was that perfect canal that has these pyramids surrounding it, that river entrance going in to the center? Could be. Supposedly this pyramid in Jamaica. Another, this one, I believe in the US. Here we go. People actually hiking at one of the sites here that we have. So that is this one right here. And you can see them walking there, and that this is like a lake. This is not an island. This is actually up in a range of mountain hill pyramids, I believe in South America, like around Argentina, I believe, maybe Chile. This is somewhere completely different. That is in a chain of islands. These ones, I believe, could be Siberia area, but could be off on that. All right. What else do we have to cover? There's a decent amount still. What was I going to share next? Aha. I do recall. Here we go. Aha. The Olmec heads of Mexico. But I just quickly need to grab myself a refill of water as my throat is getting parched, my voice a little. So I'm going to play a 1-minute promotional ad for APEC, and I will be right back, and then we will get into the Olmec.
Hey everybody, Tim Ventura here, and I want to urge you to visit altpropulsion.com and register for APEC, the Alt Propulsion Conference. Over the last 2 years, we featured over 100 of the top PhD physicists, engineers, and innovators in breakthrough and emerging propulsion, and we're looking to grow the conference this year even more. APEC is a Zoom-based online conference event. It's always free and open to everyone. We've been featured in Popular Mechanics, The Debrief, and a number of other media publications. This year, we're going to take things to the next level with new presenters discussing warp drives, gravity modification, ion and nuclear propulsion, the UAP phenomena, and much more. We want you to attend, and even if you can't, please register for conference updates and replay info. Visit us online at altpropulsion.com and click the Join Us menu link to register. Our update list is private and confidential. We won't share your info, so register today. We look forward to seeing you at the next APEC event.
Right, so if you are like me and Bert and Ernie here, and are a backyard inventor, a hobbyist inventor, backyard scientist, garage engineer, if you're working on something, if you're doing breakthrough science, energy science, if you got something to share and want to work with getting it out there open source, please do come register at altpropulsion.com and come into the APEC community. We need you. And Bert and Ernie there, right? So, and I'm going to be going deep into the electrolysis alchemy, alchem, electrochemistry, electrolysis chemistry, and the transmutations that happen in the plasma state. That's the fourth state of matter. That's ionized gas, but that's ionized any atom, any element. That is essentially, fourth state. It's a quantum state material. That's the ormus, orbitally rearranged electric molecule, as well as Keshi calls it GANS, the gas, atom, nano, solid state. So what is Mehran Keshi stating in that acronym? It's actually very brilliant in describing what these monoatomics are. So gas atom is a single atom of that element, but it is so light dispersed, like it's floating, right? It's not a liquid. It's not dense like a liquid or a solid. It is just in this gas state, very small, like a speck, a single speck of dust, just like what a monoatomic flake of any metal is. The white powder of it, white powdered gold, ormus, GAN. So that is right, gas atom in a solid state, thus the powder, right? The solid powder state, gas atom, solid, or GANs, gas atom, nano. That's a key part of it. Nano measurement is so small. What is nanotechnology? It's essentially in cells, but smaller than cells because it's actually in atom pieces. It's literally on the atomic scale of building and technology. So when they're talking this nanotechnology, they're building with atoms, and it's this quantum atom level that nano scale is. That's lower. It's this smallest physical matter scale building that when you break it down, you're going into energy density, no longer physical matter scale density. Key understanding and part of that right there, and connecting nano to plasma to fourth state to quantum to the phase conjugation aspect that is the science of the breakdown and transmutation of energy, light wave, EM, radiation, and spectrum, and existence, and particle matter. Well, energy wave. Yeah, is it okay? Not math. The physical wave energy of existence and universe that goes into what is space, right? And what is outer space, and the how does it connect into and back through the relative matter space of universe. That's where you get the micro to macro, and the key part of what has been hidden and missing in the unified field theory of everything. And why I'm talking and going into this, what has inspired it so much, is the shout out to Terrence and to Joe Rogan and that podcast, and especially the Walter Russell diagrams. And that is the most relevant aspect of that needs to come out, and that Terrence seems to understand and explained on that Joe Rogan podcast that a long time have understood that these Walter Russell geometry and octave and harmonization, these diagrams, literally tables and unified field theory like this, that Russell humanity and the world right here, and that Terence has had that same, grand universal source vision that I have at times, and many of us have, and anyone can have, when you connect in and see it all, and essentially that God source or creation source or universal source of structure and everything, but unify of it, conscious, and that it fits into all of this. This is the technical science structures and bridges of understanding, using, and purpose of sacred geometry, and what sacred geometry is, and how to apply it and understand and use it and plug it into our modern history and rest of science equations that and technology that we have, and can actually have the God scale technology, life, and understanding, but that with it comes connecting into that God creation source aspect of it, and it's the everything. And that's why the conscious science has been so suppressed in the West, and why currently the Oriental East ancient teachings and culture still, and practice that still exists within the roots and sub societies throughout all of Asia, as well as Africa, and all through the Orient and whatnot, but all over the world, essentially in the indigenous and the legend teachings of esoteric and occult. And here it is so elegantly displayed for all to see and use and apply from and by Walter Russell, I believe now over 100 years ago, and connecting sound with light, frequency, electricity, magnetism, matter, and geometry. And what we're looking at here, written in this deuterium, tritium, and can I get closer to it? Oops, sorry, I should have had, oh, my apologies to everyone. I should have had that on a large scale so you could have actually seen it better, but now we're there a little bit better. So this is by Walter Russell, his original, for the love of goodness, it won't actually give me a full, what? On a full screen of it. So ridiculous. My apologies. Anyways, at the very top, above hydrogen, in the octave that is smaller, and at the top, one a half octave or half wavelength smaller than the first of hydrogen. So going into subatomic particles, Walter Russell predicted and wrote and put in place, what does he call it here? Can I freaking see it? Is it Bellatanin? No, that's on the alpha phazon, an alpha phazon maybe, or oh man, no, there's another one that it's like I believe the word he calls it is a combination of hydrogen and like photon or something. Anywho, he predicted this subparticle particle that's literally just 2 days ago they came out and published, I believe it was on physics.org. I'm going to see if I can actually find this article right now, as it blew my mind and confirmed everything, and it confirmed Walter Russell's prediction of this existence of this hydrogen. It's an atom that is a full atom that is smaller than hydrogen of electrons and like anti-electrons or something. It's insanely awesome, important, now confirmed officially, as well as Terrence discusses it in depth on the Joe Rogan podcast as well. Although I haven't seen all of it. I still need to actually watch the majority of that. So maybe he does cover it. I'm not sure actually when the interview was done, and I suspect it was before this official release. So I'm not even sure if he knows that now. Maybe since it would be interesting if the timing actually, it seems the timeline is that the establishment came out just after that Terrence Joe Rogan interview was done and released and published and confirmed what Terrence was saying, and also showing that Walter Russell had discovered or predicted, documented here over 100 years ago, and that they used it in their physics. Walter Russell, as well, what not a lot know, was actually very good friends and worked with Nikola Tesla for, I believe, over a decade, maybe two, back and forth sharing works and running ideas by each other. That I am left, just speechless at the thought or the idea of what would be contained in those conversations, or any notes or any work that was done by between those two. Anyways, let's get back to what I was trying to show in addition. So, oh man, just horrible that I can't actually get the proper larger scale of it. Either way, one of the key aspects is that it's octaves. It's done through in an octave harmonic scale, and putting physical chemistry and proportion into actual matter and physical matter and structure. It's crucial, and it's ridiculous that we're still given and taught only this original periodic table of elements, and what I find most amazing being the original alchemical periodic table, or symbols of the periodic table of elements. But what I now must do and realized and believe, suspect, and intuitively know that when we apply the symbol of name of each of these elements and put these pictographic symbols along into the placement of each of the elements on the octave periodic table of elements, Walter Russell's diagram of the octave scale, that I believe and know we will start finding relations that illustrate why those symbols are those specific symbols, because it is actual information which is encoded in these pictographic symbols, and that they are actually showing the structures of energy and matter and geometry of each of these elements and the aspects that are included within them. For instance, why I say this, what I have deciphered myself originally off of this key base teaching of ancient alchemy and the proving and understanding that I first got of the significance and overall relevance of all of this ancient high technology and language and symbols and science that it is, and that these three laws, the three principles, essentially, although the first three principles labeled here, sulfur, salt, and mercury, are in overall alchemy are called the three principles right there. In actual practicality, the main three principles of alchemy that need to be understood to start deciphering the science of ancient alchemy and the language of ancient alchemy are all of these three main sets of alchemical symbols here. The second one being called the four elements, right? The flame, air, water, earth, plus elements, right? Cross plus elements. So what does this mean? So we have flame with a triangle pointing up, right? So what does that mean? Well, that's what is flame? Flame is plasma. Flame is actually plasma, and so plasma is the fourth state of matter, and it is actually lighter and above air, right? So it's ionized gas, ionized air, ionized matter. That's plasma. It's the fourth state of matter right there, and it's up. And then right below that, third, you got air, and that is a triangle facing up with a line just going through, just below the top there, noting it's one layer down, then charged in energy, then plasma, it's air, and then below that, right? So flame and gas, so plasma and air, or plasma and gas, air and flame, they both go up above, right? And then liquid goes down, and well, liquid's the next one, so it's a triangle facing down, and water is liquid, so that's the second or the third state. And then lastly, we have Earth, or solid. What is Earth? Earth is a solid, that is solid physical matter, and it is a triangle down with another line in it, so it's the densest. And then what is that fifth element? Well, or the cross plus the elements. Well, that's these four states of matter applied to the periodic table of elements, aka what we just had up there. Every element in its four different states that of matter: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. And then at the very bottom, we have the planets and metals. And that right there is a lesson and a whole complexity and advanced understanding and teaching that I have explained and done before and will do again very soon. But it needs an entire whole episode on its own, which I am not going to try to get into today. Yes, I do, and I do need to be getting to sleep rather soon. And look at that synchronicity. I look at the clock again, and now it is 3:33 a.m. right here. And sure enough, it's like an hour and 11 minutes in. And wow, that is some synchronicity. But we will keep going for a bit longer. We're gonna connect in and share this tab instead. And this guy, here we go. So, oh man, I'm gonna have to redo this with the full diagrams. But basically, here is another periodic table by Walter Russell. There's several different ones in the circular diagram or dimensional schematics, each one having massive significance, relevance all on their own. And here you can see the plotting of the spheres of the harmonics going, negative, whole or center, negative, or to the positive in each scale up and down. And that you essentially apply that original vortex-based or harmonic periodic table of Walter Russell, the snake-like one, onto these ones starting from the center out, and that's how you calculate all the different information within them. Another one of them, and then also into these ones as well. It's the most advanced set of universal decoding and schematics in an analog manner I've ever come across, and the importance and relevance has never been more so than today, and that we need to all study and get into it and figure it out and put it together day after day, but even more so, and into a series going into specifically this and covering it will be one of my main projects going forward that I've been holding off on the burners for a while, that I really need to bring to the forefront of the work, podcasts, and research and work that I'm doing, and actually start publishing it a bit more and focusing on it and getting it out there and collaborating on it with such lovely individuals as Esoteric Gold, Jeremiah Pop, Charlie C., as well as Benjamin Balderson, aka Odin's Alchemy, my man, and many, many more. All right. That was a heck of a decent long rant, and hopefully knowledge filled word sandwich that, when properly digested, inspires and makes sense to a lot of you that's watching this right now or at a later time. Get something from my rambling, droning on, and explaining, covering all of this. But I do believe and know in my heart of hearts that this is essentially God's work. This is actually like spirit source, and this is the real source code. And you want a God code and language and God particle. It is all of this, and it is consciousness creation and breaking it down into sound, harmonics, octaves, lights, sound, color, and energy. It's all available in Walter Russell's schematics and diagrams. Like, it's wild. The fact that this has been like overlooked and suppressed for so long in the modern academic world is hopefully ending, because it's just so epic. And I can't stress enough the work of Walter Russell, and I need to get back to watching the full interview and all the information of Terrence and his understanding of it all in that Joe Rogan interview, as well as shout out to Bob Grenier and all of his work in the Martin Fleisch Memorial Project, and everything to do with the plasma, with the harmonics, with phase conjugation, with the EVOs, with the ball lightning. What is ball lightning? Well, it is flame. It is essentially electrical plasma arc. It is ionized matter, aka it is the fourth quantum matter state that also seems to have consciousness within it. And also, if it's quantum, then it goes throughout space-time and so much more. And that's where you're able to get over unity and all of these transmutations and everything else. But it has to happen in a harmonic, resonant, natural way that phase conjugates into nature and matter itself, where you just absorb and disabsorb into the underlying ether of the structure of energy and flow of our universe and existence. And the ancients understood and connected and applied and used it in a much higher degree than we currently do. And well, it's life's work of bringing it all together. And thank God for Walter Russell's life work and all of the charts and diagrams that he gave to us in this world. And one last time here, this being the base, original, octave, spiral, vortex geometry, periodic table of Walter Russell, and on it at the very top, it's so alphanon, betanon, where, no, it's up in this top. Why can I not see it? Anywho, one of those, and anon, the irony in 2024, that one of those anons that Walter Russell predicted and came up with over 100 years ago, just from the geometry of applying geometric fractal scales to the rest of chemical elemental reality and matter and universe, gives you and him that energy particle that is subatomic, that is still atomic, that exists one octave below hydrogen, and which was just proven and confirmed a day or two ago in physics.org. I believe it is. I'm really upset that I don't have that article up right now, but I will cover it and show it at a later time. Anywho, how are all of you 33 watching right now? It says, and it is 3:41 a.m. All right, okay. Moving back to what this part of which I wanted to show, back to the megalithic, marvelous megalithic Monday that we were originally covering and wanting to cover and trying to cover literally since Friday, I think. In the short ones, let's finally cover some more Olmec heads and pyramids and everything else. But my computer is freezing and hopefully not crashing again. Please bear with. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Still here. Okay. What to share with all of you? Olmec. Oh, and it freezes again. Come on. My apologies. So, another thing I want to shout out to Zertis and shout out to Shane Baldwin, who I believe or suspect is part of the actual Baldwin. He looked like Baldwin and sounded like Baldwin, but on a much more based in spiritual and experience level, and had quite the awesome discussion with them and talking about such things as fasting. Shane Baldwin talking about going on hunger strike or fasting on food for like a couple of weeks at a time in prison, and the sort of psychic spiritual like powers or experiences he was able to get out of it, and that I've been able to relate and practice. Oh, 444, say no more. Shout out Angel Wings. We got them synchronicities. And I look at the clock again. 444 in 1 minute. It's gonna be 345 where I live. Talk about the numbers, right? When things sync up with the clocks and the numbers, that's the universal matrix. Maybe even parts of God or spirits telling you things are on point, or that if it's more of a gut feeling at that time, well, that's a warning that things might be going down in not the best way right away, and you need to be paying attention and choose which door you go through when presented very carefully. You know, in those, right? Okay. Not if my computer will let me, but it seems to keep freezing and buffering, so I don't even know if I'm still there. And if you can hear me, maybe can. Hopefully you can. Gosh darn computer. Not let me load what I want to share and show next. But I looked down at the clock for the first time since seeing if I could actually share something, and it is 3:45, and boom, there we go. Look down again, and no longer 3:46. And freezing, so maybe that's telling me it's time to quit. And tomorrow at noon at the coffee factory. Shout out Joe Schmo's Coffee, because it's to determine the future of silk screening, setting up my equipment, getting the business going, and the plan of action and getting it done. So on that regard, and the cooperating computer that currently keeps glitching the F out on me and not completely cratering, and the fact that to get and be in the best work tomorrow. Process watching this, and yeah, I don't even know if you can see me or hear me, but because the comments, it won't even let me. Thing is frozen. Oh, it finally came up with the share screen option. Let's see. Oh man, it's just so bad.
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just BurnEye.
Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?